I've been fortunate to travel to a lot of beautiful places over the years. I've seen majestic mountains, I've visited historic cities, quiet villages, and concert halls filled with remarkable and extraordinary music. Every place had something worth remembering, and yet, no matter how wonderful that trip was, there has always been something gently comforting about turning onto my own street. Seeing familiar trees and recognizing the neighbors' homes, walking through my own front door, I've often wondered why that feels so good. And I'll never forget the first time I truly experienced what it meant to come home. I'd been away for my first semester of college and had really loved the adventure and just the being awayness of college. I had mostly grown up on the East Coast and had gone to college out in the West. With all the new friends, the new environment, the football games, the basketball games, the new experiences, I was pretty sure I hadn't missed home that much. But then we drove up the long hill toward my neighborhood. We turned onto our street at the top of the hill, and I saw the huge boulder at the foot of our street. Suddenly, a flood of memories and warm feelings filled my mind and heart. You see, that boulder had been part of the landscape of my childhood. This was where countless games of baseball and street hockey, basketball, football, snowball wars, you name it, had occupied so much of my free time. These were my streets. They were my memories. It was my home. And there was no other way to describe what I felt in that moment except, well, I knew I was home. Just home. And I've returned from some remarkable places in my life since then. But there is a particular kind of happiness I've only ever truly experienced and known when I'm returning home. And I don't think it's because our homes are perfect. Mine certainly isn't. The paint eventually needs touching up. Something always seems to need fixing. The grass grows faster than I wish it would. And somehow there always seems to be another project waiting. Yet, none of those things determine whether a place feels like a home. Because I'm pretty sure that home has a lot less to do with walls and doors and windows than it does with the feeling of welcome. Home is a place where laughter has echoed, where prayers have been whispered, where difficult conversations have eventually led to understanding, where birthdays have been celebrated and where the deaths of loved ones have been mourned, where tears have quietly fallen, but also where ordinary Tuesdays have slowly become treasured memories. We lived in one house for 18 years, and over those 18 years we grew to love that house because of the home it had become. We put a lot of work into it. We probably spent more than a few too many weekends and holidays fixing things, changing things, and adding things. But none of that is really why I remember it so fondly. I remember the evenings outside in the pool, or gathering around the fire pit, watching movies outside, and sitting together with family and friends as another beautiful sunset disappeared just beyond the lake. Nothing particularly extraordinary, just a compilation of individual, seemingly simple, and at the time, seemingly even forgettable moments. Except they weren't forgettable at all. Those are the moments I remember. Those are the moments we all remember. And even now, memories from those 18 years can transport us back to a place we all knew as home. Funny, isn't it, that we usually don't know which ordinary moments are going to become the ones we remember. And maybe that's because a house becomes a home through all the living that happens inside its walls and in the yard around it. But I've also come to believe that home isn't always a place. Sometimes people can feel like home. You know what I'm talking about. Friends do. Grandparents do. Maybe some teachers do. Some neighbors. There are people whose very presence says simply, you don't have to pretend here. What a blessing it is to feel that. And you know, gradually, as my own family has grown and we've endured difficult things together, I think we're all trying more and more to give one another that same kind of grace. And we are nowhere near perfect. But we keep trying. And when I walk into the house some evening or on a weekend and most or all the family is there, I can sense something. I can sense that each person's protective shield is down. We all know we can simply be ourselves. No performing, no pretending, just home. And those experiences have helped me understand that giving another person the space and the freedom to be themselves, to just know they are accepted and loved, is truly a gift worth giving. And not only to the people who live in our homes with us, but maybe even to everyone we encounter. Maybe that's when home becomes something larger than a place. And you know, the older I become, the less interested I am in impressive places. And the more grateful I become for peaceful places. A place where conversations aren't rushed, where someone asks how your day went and they really want to know. And a place where you don't have to earn your spot. You already have one. Perhaps that's why home is one of those words that means, well, it means something different to every one of us. It's never simply an address. It's a feeling. It's belonging. And maybe that's why, no matter how far we travel, part of us always looks forward to coming home. Not because it's the most exciting place we'll ever see, but because it's the place where we are most deeply known. And maybe one of the kindest things we can do is help someone else feel a little more at home in our presence. Not necessarily by doing anything grand, but by simply making room, by simply listening, welcoming, and letting someone know there's a place for you here. And thank you for spending these few minutes with me today. This is The Quiet Between, and I'm Mark Ammons. Until next time, may your home be filled with laughter, and may your heart always have a place where it can rest. And may you become the kind of person who helps others feel at home, simply because you're there.